in this new scalable processor since 2014. And we successfully power on the world's first platform of this new processor in, I remember that's March 2015. Actually, Intel internally, they have also designed their own board, but actually, QCT, we power on the platform earlier than Intel themselves, okay? So that is more than 2 years development cycle, and more than 1,000 engineers involved. And with this, thanks to the new microarchitecture, especially the, I will go to more detail, especially the new layer 2, layer 3 cache design, which is a non-inclusive cache architecture. And also, thanks to the latest node process, that is a 14 nanometer. So, and the 28 core. So this CPU is so powerful. I think, and scalable, right? Intel offers different number of cores, different speed, So I believe this new processor can meet most of the workload in the data center, right? And the Intel, they are trying to add more and more new instruction set for different new workload. We have tons of different hardware architecture for this new processor. So we can, I believe, we can fulfill, meet most of our customers, different workload.
A lot of applications and use cases have been mentioned: artificial intelligence, machine learning, and these are definitely use cases which we will see, and we see already today growing on the existing platforms we have. But we shouldn't forget that all the existing customers, all the existing use cases, they operate on our platforms benefit straight away from this architecture, not only in vertical scaling capabilities of the systems, but as well in horizontal scaling. Why? Because we can operate much more virtualization containers, if it's a container or a virtual machine on the same platform. So east-west traffic gets speeded up dramatically between different virtual machines and containers, just because we can increase the density significantly. So it's not only the new rising stars, the new use cases we will see, and we see them growing, and they grow very, very fast in the data centers on the platform. But as well, all the existing use cases we have, even the simple websites with their database connection, with their challenge they have, their peak loads they have, they significantly benefit already from this architecture. We see data growing very, very fast in our data centers. And we see more and more processes just grabbing through the data. And this requires a lot of performance on one side, because they do a lot of analytics on this data, but it requires that you can keep more and more data into RAM, into cache. And the Xeon Scalable processor, and even what we see in the future, will really contribute to support these use cases significantly.
We're working with a broad range of integrators of our technology. QCT is one of the first to adopt our technologies in this case.
Challenge also means opportunity, right? So the benefit of Intel, working with QCT is we have so much experience working with a different data center customer. So we have so good, a good understanding on the different workload, and we are almost the expert on the hardware design, thermal, power, high density, right? So we provide a lot of value and input feedback to Intel.
If you look at the requirements I've been speaking about before, you need performance, you need security, you need agility, just to name the top three. You need to look at the data center as a whole, right? You can't just isolate one technology. Obviously, everybody knows us for processor technology, and that's a key engine in the data center, but it's not all. So we need to improve on all fronts so that we have a balanced system in terms of the CPU power, right? The memory and the storage architectures, the software which is running to operate the data center, right? So these vectors are very, very important. On the other hand, you also want customers like one-on-one want maximum flexibility in the data center. So a disaggregation of the hardware and the ability to configure it by software, so software-defined infrastructure, is a key requirement and a key development we're seeing from our side. I want to give you two examples, like in the high-performance computing environment, we have the Scalable System Framework, which takes all of these four elements ahead: processor, technologies, memory and storage, fabrics and software together, and builds a balanced system. In the data center design, if you take it a level higher, we have the rack scale design, right, which is also being adopted by QCT in their platform, in their, I think it's called RackGo R, right, for rack scale design. So we basically made that rack scale design to have a way to do that disaggregation and the software-defined infrastructure from our side. So that is, in short words, what we are seeing. So we need to advance the technology on several fronts to make sure that the data center copes with these workloads, big data, AI, high-performance computing, in the appropriate manner.
Single technology there. There's a lot of different technologies we're checking at the moment, we're testing, but it looks very promising that we move towards software-defined everything. And we're moving even to reduce total cost of ownership, not only in terms of power consumption of the systems, but as well in optimizing the existing infrastructure we have to just put more load on the systems we have and have less systems which are just on idle mode. So it's about significant optimization we're doing. This is all done in software, and a requirement to have this optimization process, we definitely need kind of software-defined everything on the data center level. So this is really key. The partnership at the moment we're practicing here together with Intel, delivering the underlying technology, and then Quanta just putting it together in a way that it's usable for us as one-on-one. At the same time, being able to contribute from one-on-one more than 25 years history in hosting. So we're not doing it since yesterday. There is a lot of knowledge in the teams who are operating in their daily life more than 25 years. Seeing that people like Quanta are really intensively thinking about simple things, how to change hard disk drives, which you can say, hey, why should we spend hours and talents in optimizing? This is really a challenge in the data center if you change more than a few thousand hard drives per year. QCT is a fairly new partnership. We are happy to have a partner here in place, and I wouldn't say this is the only partner. We are operating as a global hosting company around the world. Usually we have multiple partners we talk to, but the experience we have with QCT is, it was a pleasure really to work in this triangle.